In this video, we'll share 7 tips to help you create a shared vision for your marriage. I'm Dr. Elias Moitinho.
I'm Dr. Denise Moitinho. We are university professors and authors of the book, The Dream Home.
You may have heard that where there is no vision, the people perish. For sure, you do not want your marriage to perish. So let's go to the tips. Tip number 1, discuss with your spouse your values in 7 areas of your life. We believe that having a shared vision for your marriage will strengthen your relationship, right?
Yes, when you and your spouse have a shared vision, you will direct your lives towards the same destination with a common purpose.
Yes, a vision is a description of the desired future that you have. So it's your idea of what kind of marriage you want to have.
So the important thing is that your shared vision flows out of your values. In other words, your beliefs as a couple.
Yes, because a vision ignites excitement in the present and creates hope for the future.
The Bible says, "Can two people walk together without agreeing on the direction?"
So the secret is unity, it's agreement. And a marriage is successful when both you and your spouse are looking in the same direction.
That is true, and for Christian couples, having shared values is essential. While you and your spouse may have some different values and beliefs, and that's fine, it is crucial to come together and find common ground, don't you think?
Yes, so you need to be on the same page in these 7 areas that we're going to mention here. So think of each area carefully and share your beliefs, your values with your spouse.
One of these areas is the physical.
Yes, the physical area focuses on the overall physical health and fitness. So talk to your spouse about your views of what a healthy lifestyle looks like.
Yes, for example, is having a healthy diet essential for you, for both of you? What about being physically active?
Yeah, and then the psychological area. This area refers to your mind. So it's all about your mental health and your thoughts and your emotions.
Yes, you can even talk about how both of you view your mental health and how important self-care is for you in your life.
And what type of mindset is important? Do you have a growth mindset or do you have a fixed mindset? The social area is about relationships, your marriage, your family, friends, co-workers, even relationship with the in-laws.
What do you believe is a healthy way to relate to your family and other family members and co-workers and friends? You need to consider those things. Also, in terms of parenting, how do you and your spouse want to parent your children?
And a person may be strict, the other may be flexible, and then you have expectations about relationship with friends. And you have values, beliefs, so share them with your spouse. Then the financial area. Oh, this is so important.
Tough because it is all about managing your money and material possessions. So what's your view of debt? Do you want to be debt free? What if your spouse doesn't mind being in debt?
Can you see how much conflict can be created in a marriage when people have different views about debt and valuing material possessions and managing money? For example, for you, it may be so important to have an emergency fund. It gives security and having a budget. But what if your spouse doesn't want to sit down and work on a budget with you?
That definitely can create a lot of stress.
Yes. If you have different values about handling money, you will probably experience a lot of conflict in your marriage.
When it comes to the professional area, it is all about job, career, vocation. So what do you expect to see in your marriage regarding the balance of work and family?
And because you have your career goals and aspirations regarding your job, or maybe you want to pursue more education to further your professional life, share with your spouse. This is very important, right?
Yes, and beside the professional area, we also have the recreational. how you spend your time having fun, your leisure and fun time. So do you intentionally engage in fun activities with your family?
And here, something that is important is finding that balance of, yes, having fun now without sacrificing the future.
Because sometimes we tend to think only about the future and not enjoy the now,
present. Yes.
The present time.
So share with your spouse your values in this area of life. The spiritual area is about your faith in God. So talk to your spouse about your beliefs about the Bible, beliefs about how much involvement do you want to have in your church.
Yes, and also consider, are you on the same page spiritually, or are you growing together spiritually and developing this spiritual intimacy? And if you have children, are you in agreement about teaching them the Bible, teaching your children the Bible?
And it's important that we mention here 7 areas, and all areas influence each other. So don't neglect any of these areas. And as you can see, you and your spouse have a lot to talk about. And this was only tip number 1.
And guess what it is?
In our book, we have a whole chapter on how to create a shared vision for your marriage.
Tip number 2, communicate your expectations in these 7 areas of life.
Yes, as we went through tip number 1, the 7 areas, we mentioned talk to your spouse. Because developing a vision statement requires that you review and discuss your expectations for your marriage, no matter how long you have been married.
Yes, in each of these 7 areas, you have expectations for your marriage that come from your beliefs and values. So make time to talk about them with your spouse.
Tip number 3, pray for guidance. Yes, make time to pray for your marriage and ask God to show you His purpose for your lives as a couple and the things He wants to do in and through your marriage.
In Jeremiah 33:3, God says, "Call to me and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know."
So therefore, we believe that as God's children, we can ask Him and He will reveal His plan and His purpose for our lives.
And Elias, we realize that some people are married to spouses who are not believers or who may not be believers. And if that's your case, this process may be more challenging for you.
Yes, so pray and pray for your spouse. Tip number 4, use the miracle question. The miracle question was created by Steve DeShazer, who founded the solution-focused brief therapy. And this question can be a catalyst to help you develop your vision.
We have adapted the miracle question to help you in the process of developing your vision. You can answer these questions.
Suppose a miracle happened and you were 10 years into the future and your dream marriage is a reality. What would it look like? What would you and your spouse be doing? What types of conversations would you be having? What types of activities would you be engaging in together? What feelings would you be experiencing?
Also ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to become? What kind of husband or wife do you want to become? What kind of father or mother do you want to become?
Right.
Take time to see your marriage 10 years into the future in the 7 areas we shared here. What do you and your spouse see happening 10 years from now?
By asking the miracle question and taking time to answer the question and the follow-up questions, you will gain clarity.
You can begin to envision your dream marriage in the 7 areas of life.
Tip number 5, consider your individual dreams and goals. As you create your shared vision, do not neglect or discard individual goals and dreams.
Yes, each of you probably came into the marriage with goals for your lives. Now that you are married, you will need to talk about how to fit your personal goals into your shared vision.
Yeah, the key here is to be flexible.
Tip number 6, write your shared vision statement. We encourage you to write down your vision statement. Then you can review it from time to time as a couple to ensure that you are on the right track.
Yes, and tip number 7 is put your shared vision into practice. Now that you have a shared vision, you and your spouse can begin to set short-term and long-term goals for your marriage.
And you can write down an action plan with the specific steps you too will take to live out your shared vision.
Yes, you can do that. We believe in you. And if you liked this video, click the like button, share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe. Watch the videos that you see here on the screen so you continue to grow your marriage.